Hi guys, my name's Kim and I am one of the coaches running this group, and I just wanted to take a minute to share my coaching story with you and why I love this coaching opportunity. So, first of all, I have been a coach for over a year and I've been a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher my whole life since I was like 5 years old. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, and I went to school for it. I graduated with a master's degree. Then I started working, and I was a full-time teacher for 6 years. I was mostly in middle school math, and I loved it. But something changed within me after I had my daughter, who is now 2. What happened was I had her and I was working for a small nonprofit, and they did not have to legally recognize the federal laws because it was such a small business. And so they did recognize the fact, maternity leave, they did end up giving it to me, but we could only afford for me to take about 6 weeks off. So it was pretty devastating for me to have to go back to work with an infant who was only 6 weeks old. And we were very blessed that my husband was able to be a stay-at-home dad, and he was with her while I was working full-time. So I went back to work when my daughter was 6 weeks old. It was a lot of tears, a lot of heartache. It was very difficult for me. But we did it. I ended up quitting that job and then finding a substitute teaching job closer to home so I don't have to commute an hour each way. Because if you commute, you know that it's a huge part of your life, and it's just, it's maddening. And so I was commuting an hour each way. Then being a teacher, you work your 8 hours, and then there's never enough time in the day to get all your work done. And so you have to bring stuff home. And so you end up working easily, for me, 11, 12 hours every day. And then I was taking breaks during work to pump, and it was exhausting. So I quit that job, and I ended up finding a substitute teaching job and just taking random jobs here and there. And then I got a full-time job locally. So I've never had trouble finding work. Like, I have always been good at my job. I've always enjoyed my work as a teacher. But what it really came down to is that I just wasn't feeling like I had this quality of life anymore. I felt like I was barely seeing my husband and my daughter, only a couple hours a night. And it grated on my soul. If that, I can't even express how deeply it impacted me. Luckily my husband was super supportive, and he allowed me to make all these career changes, even though I was the main breadwinner and I have had the main financial stress for our family for years. And so when I started watching my coach on social media, she's actually a friend I'd known a long time, but we'd kind of lost touch. And so I started watching her and following her and getting curious. And then I finally was like, I need to find out what she's doing, because somehow she was able to quit her full-time professional job and be home with her kids. And that's what I wanted so badly. I did not want to miss out on all these opportunities to raise my daughter, to be with her. And so I talked to my coach. We chatted. I had lots of questions. I had lots of reservations. My husband was skeptical. We just were like, oh, I don't know about this. And then I just finally told him, after talking about it and processing it and figuring out, I go, you know what? I know it's so different than anything I've ever done. And I know that it might not, I don't know where it's going to go. I have no idea what kind of potential is in this business. I just know there's something really, I can't stop thinking about it. I'm laying awake at night thinking about what this could mean for our family. And I looked up tons of videos of other coaches who had done it to try to figure out what it was all about. And I finally just said, you know what? Let's do this. I just want to try it. What can it hurt? It will help me to get healthy, because I'd been an athlete for years, but then we got married. And we were both athletes, honestly, but we got married, and then we moved a lot. We lived in Hawaii on Maui for a year. Then we moved to Southern Oregon. We lived there for a year. Then we lived in the Middle East in Kuwait for 2 years. So we've moved a lot. We've done lots of really fun things together. But for some reason, our health and fitness had totally just like fallen off the wayside. We weren't necessarily overweight or, unhappy with our physical appearance, but we didn't have energy, and we weren't feeling fulfilled as far as that goes. And so I was like, I really want to try this. I want to get back into fitness routine. After having my daughter, again, it had totally just not been a priority. I felt like I barely had time to like come home and eat dinner with my family and see my daughter and nurse her and cuddle her. And there was no way I was going to go to the gym. There was no freaking way I was going to the gym. In like 2 hours I had, sorry, I'm exaggerating a little. In the 4 hours that I had with my daughter awake, there's no way I was going to go to the gym. That just wasn't going to happen. And so I love the idea of working out at home, which I'd never really gotten into because I'd always been a team sport person, and like, I didn't think I'd be motivated to do it by myself. But then when it came down to it as a new mom, I was just like, I can't sacrifice that time. I need something quick. I need something simple, something easy. And so it was very appealing to me. And then she told me about Shakeology, and she's like, your at-home workouts will be awesome. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know. I have a lot of food allergies. And so again, I had questions and I was nervous about it. And I told her all my allergies, and she said, you know what? If you go with the vegan, you'll be fine. It won't affect you. And I'm like, that would be amazing, because I don't know about you, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I like craved protein so badly. And I ended up drinking some nasty protein shake almost every day just because I desperately needed the protein. And I just felt like I wasn't getting the amount that I needed. So anyways, I decided to sign up as a coach, and I can tell you it has positively impacted my life. I'm running my own team. I was able to quit my full-time teaching job, not solely from coaching, but my husband from the get-go, when we started talking about me quitting my job, he was like, okay, well, you need to make this much money every month in order for this to work. And I said, fine, I'll like do whatever I need to do. I'll work my booty off in this business so that I don't have to be away from my daughter when I don't want to be. And so now I'm about 6 months into being a stay-at-home mom, running my own business from home, and I'm able to do things like go with my parents to surgery in the middle of the week to support them, to encourage them. I'm able to go to a women's retreat on the weekend with my church, which in the past it would have been like, there's no way I'm leaving my daughter for a whole weekend when I barely see her to begin with. My husband works in corrections, and so his schedule is crazy, and we are able to just have family time on any day that he has off. That's our weekend, and that's awesome. We don't have to be ships passing in the night anymore, because we were that for a while, where literally he was working swing shift full-time, I was working day shift full-time. That was ideal for our daughter's life, but sure not for our marriage, because we didn't see each other for days on end. And so this has been the biggest blessing to my family. I just want to pay it forward. And I honestly believe if you think this is an opportunity that you are interested in pursuing, you can do it. Anybody can build this business. It's simple. We will teach you all the skills that you need. So anyways, I could talk about this a long time, but that's my basic story, and I love what I do, and I love helping people, and I can't imagine my life without coaching now. So